Greetings and welcome back. I'm the Angrynator, and today we're going to take a look at Biker Mice on the PS2.
A game made by Game Factory. A fitting name since they are just as bad as LJN, Blast and Hip Games. And they also create so many games you would believe they were manufactured in a factory.
So let's talk a bit about these Biker Mice and my background story with them.
You see, it's obvious that Biker Mice were heavily inspired by the fame that Ninja Turtles got. And it's no doubt nowhere nearly as successful as them. Although Biker Mice found its audience, myself included.
You know, as a small child I only saw one episode of these Biker Mice, and then the local television channel didn't bother with any more than that, but that was enough for them to spew out a shit ton of commercials featuring these mice. And when you know it, I begged my parents so much to get these figures. Anyway, let's put the game in. Did you know I believed there were more than 3 Biker Mice when I was a kid? You know, since there were so many different figures with different gadgets. And I was actually kinda shocked to realize there were only 3 and the figures were just mass produced. Anyway, let's put the game in. You know, it's funny, I never had this feeling with Ninja Turtles. I always knew there were only 4 turtles. Maybe it was because I saw more episodes, maybe it's because I don't know. Whatever, let's just put the game in and start it up.
It starts out by various logos of different companies followed by the famous logo of Biker Mice. And we then clearly see that the game features the reboot of the Biker Mice instead of the original 90s version.
And truth be told, I don't know nearly enough about any of these 2 shows to determine whether this is good or bad, but I guess they just chose whichever one of the shows the kids knew best at the time.
And by the first cutscene, which more or less tells the entire backstory, yeah, I'm not kidding, we can also see that they spared no expense in terms of animation.
And I find this hard to say, but I'm pretty sure that What's Up got their animation inspiration from this video game.
You two want to shut up?
We then enter the main menu, new game, load game and continue.
So basically, 2 load games.
We are now in the game, which features missions, garage, load game and save game. Simple enough to figure out actually. If we look at garage, it's basically just upgrade your vehicle, and we can also get a look at the 3 main characters, Throttle, Vinny and Moto. It also features some of the backside description like 3 playable characters and 35 possible upgrades.
Yeah, and now the question is, 35 upgrades for each mouse or combined? Yeah, knowing these games is probably combined.
On the back we also see that there's 15 levels and 2 exciting game modes.
And we'll get to that later.
The first mission is easy enough, get some grub from the local hot dog joint.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they eat just as many chili dogs as Sonic do.
I'm waiting.
The first thing we notice is the controls. Like any other bad game, they are terrible. You press X to drive, analog to control, R2 to use boost, and R1 to use your main weapon, and L1 for secondary weapon, as well as R2 for mines and such.
Yeah, only one problem, and I have to stretch this out. The controls are just bad. It feels like it's a struggle just to get it to work. And back in the days I would just have said, oh, it's a bad controller, let me go get another one. But now that I'm actually using an official PlayStation controller that's working fine in other games, I just have to say, it's bad controls. It feels like a struggle and you're forcing every single thing you're doing just to get it to damn work.
Even your main gun, you feel like you have to press the button so hard it's going to break, and even then it feels wrong. Anyway, we beat the stage and we can upgrade a bit, and this is interesting. Every time you upgrade, you get this deformed picture of their human friend, and it's just disgusting.
I don't think the creators of Biker Mice are that proud to see this face, especially not since you can upgrade 35 times, meaning you have to see that face a whole lot.
Okay, next stage, the search for Stoker. Let's pick Vinny this time, just to get the feel of different mice.
And yeah, there's really not that much difference in the 3 mice, other than I think Moto can take more abuse, and that's about it.
Okay, this time we got a beat 'em up stage, not really worth your time, just put in Final Fight instead and you're good to go. And yes, some of you might have guessed that this is what those 2 exciting game modes are. Drive your motorbike and fight a lame beat 'em up. And the formula is like this. Each stage consists of 2 driving scenes and 1 beat 'em up, sometimes mixed a bit, but that's the main formula.
Beat that, and now we can try Moto. I believe he's a tiny bit stronger in the beat 'em up parts too, but I'm not sure on that one. Maybe that's crediting the creators too much to think that much out of the generic bugs they created.
Well, on to the next stage. Here they introduce some sort of fusion mechanic performed by pressing triangle. They call this fusion for Megabike, and to be honest, I don't think this is part of the show. But supposedly you are stronger and more able to take abuse, I believe, but it's so short that you really can't get the hang of it before it's gone.
Fuck! You know what? Making abilities like this in video games is actually okay, and highly recommended. But here there's no clear indication of anything. When the level is about to end, the overall feel of threat, there is nothing to help you determine when to actually use this ability.
In Final Fight you usually save these things to the boss if you are getting your ass handed to you, but in this game, no, I don't know.
There's no triangle ability in the beat 'em up games, so there's really no reason to save it for later.
Okay, we finally found Stoker, the mouse who built the regenerator. Taken straight out of Phineas and Ferb, I presume.
The Alieninator!
We are finally at the first boss, Ronaldo Rump's highly advanced cars.
No comments on anything modern day here.
This boss battle is as cheap as it gets. Your main weapon has no effect on him, while your secondary weapon does some damage. Only problem, you got a limited amount of these missiles and you have to make every single one count. Not that there isn't any extra to collect, it's just really cheap of how to replenish them. The missiles is stashed on top of the enemy car.
Oh yeah, you actually heard right. On top of the fucking enemy.
Meaning the only way to get them is to perform a very specific jump by tilting the analog stick backwards while pressing R2 if you have some boost. Do it too early and you crash into the car, resulting in you getting shot. Do it too slow and you crash into the car getting shot. Do it just right and the missile might disappear since it's on a timer. It is fucking cheap and really annoying and just not fun at all.
You're not feeling good when you actually do this. You just feel like you got lucky.
Anyway, after a lot of trial and error, we finally beat this bastard. So, like the story in the reboot, it is up to the special force of these three mice to gather the parts for the new regenerator.
And I'm pretty sure Season 1 surrounded that anyway.
We are on the road again and by now it is slowly sinking in that the entire game is looping. Which by that I mean we have one set map. With barriers blocking some parts and in another mission, the barriers are blocking some other parts.
Meaning, it feels repetitive as shit.
Finally made it to the regenerator and this is fucking unforgiving. Which I of course mean the enemies more or less only targets the machine, and if you get too close the auto target system homes in on the machine as well.
And this basically means you can sabotage your own progression.
You're destroying the hydrocarbon detector.
Damn! Well, I'll take another chance, please.
General, we got some good news.
Hell? I have to start the entire mission over? There's no checkpoints? Come on!
Okay, time to upgrade our melee abilities, and about here-ish you realize you have to pick one mouse over the other since upgrading everybody just means boring backtracking and a lot of...
Okay, we got the skills. Time to try again.
This time, I tried my best and succeeded, but barely. Maybe the game gave me a break or something, but I have to say...
The melee unlocks are combos. And yeah, there are no combo lists in the game, so you either have to memorize them, which is boring, or write them down, which is a chore.
And that's a good description of the game. A chore. Everything you do in the game is like a chore. You're not happy you beat the stage, you're just glad it's over. And what is the reward? A lousy CG animated cutscene, more or less ripped directly from the show. And just made worse.
Yeah, I would say spend your money on the DVD collection instead. I mean, it should be about the same price, $50-$60 for the game, $50-$60 for the DVD collection, Season 1, 2, maybe the entire collection.
So we beat the beat 'em up part and is now on to the next big thing, and it's something any bad driving game has to have.
Limited time checkpoints, straight out of Superman 64, or SpongeBob the Movie the Game.
Only problem, like Superman 64, you have to do this in order to beat the game. And let me tell you, it's no fun. You are in constant stress, afraid to miss too many of these things, so you have to do it again. And the stage is like 5 minutes long, so you really don't want to get to the end just to realize you missed one. And meanwhile, a shit ton of enemies are attacking you, resulting you in losing focus on where those fucking isotopes are.
It's really not that fun, and we have a beat 'em up boss battle afterwards.
Yep, and like the rest of the game, it's a chore. And also really unpredictable. Usually in these kinds of scenarios, there's a pattern: avoid attacks, then hit him a couple of times, rinse and repeat. But this fucking asshole has no rhyme or rhythm to him. He just hits as he pleases, and even when you think you can attack, guess what? You can't.
And I tried multiple times on this guy, and every time you fail, you have to beat the isotope level again. So that's fucking fun.
Finally beat it, and we now have to stop the ice cream truck.
Yeah, let's skip a few levels, since most of them is, as I said, drive, then punch, and then drive again.
This boss is, however, incredibly easy. Shoot or avoid the missiles on the side, and when they drive over to replenish, shoot the ammo boxes about 4 times and you win.
Seriously, the first 2 bosses were so damn difficult, and now this? What the hell?
We then have to collect some more isotopes, and that's really no fun.
Also, this happens if you don't collect all within the given time. Oh yeah, you explode, and this cat tells you to try again.
We also have a mission where their human friend gets kidnapped and you have to follow them in order to save her. Here might be a good time to say I upgraded the primary weapon to shoot out slugs. Yeah, slugs.
But that's not the weird part. The weird part is this.
The gun fucking shoots well. You feel like it actually works. There's no pauses, no nothing.
It feels like the first gun was just a test or something like that, and this is the final product. So let's upgrade again, shall we? What the hell? Back to pressing insanely hard again? Seriously? Why is the upgrade a downgrade?
So what's this? Overheat?
They overheat. Great! Then why didn't they show me that, you know? Some sort of bar or any indication on the screen to show me it's overheating. But guess what? They actually did that. On the fucking crosshair. Are you kidding me? It's impossible to see, especially when the entire screen is littered with fucking explosions like some sort of overrated Michael Bay movie. This is bad game design 101, people.
Anyway, back to the kidnapping. We finally arrive next to the car, which it also auto-targets, by the way. Thank you, game. This car drives to the side where there's barriers, and what the fuck am I supposed to do now?
What the hell? I can't follow them in there, and if they drive too far ahead, I lose the mission. But here is the deal.
You continue as the game stops at the turn.
This is fucking ass shit dripping from a moose's nostrils since it sniffed your ass while you took a huge dump. Seriously, what the fuck?
Not only does this go against anything you ever taught in any game whatsoever, they even go against what they told you to begin with. And also, is this just lazy programming that they couldn't be bothered to remove the blockade when you got near? Well, let's move on. We are now at the more than annoying part of getting to some reactors about to blow up the city while the entire Catatonian army is blasting you with missiles.
You know, basic stuff.
Furthermore, you have to beat up these boxes, or I guess they are generators. Just like Godzilla on PS3 and 4.
Godzilla is approaching the generator.
And I believe this is the reason they auto-target stuff you really wouldn't target yourself. They couldn't be bothered to remove this feature in stages where it would really be an obstacle. In fact, they could have just created another term in the command list that said on-target this box.
But no, they decided not to do that since that would be too much work for them. And most people would probably throw the game out faster than the Biogas could actually drive.
Okay, now for mission 12. Follow the truck.
Well, that's great. What they don't tell you is, you have to destroy the truck as well.
So we try this out a bit, and every single enemy is given some sort of protein shake, or maybe it's just bigger missiles. Since they kill you faster than Sonic can fucking say you're too slow. Fuck! Fuck! Fuck!
Seriously! And also, if you get too far behind the truck, the nice commander are telling us this.
Boy, you let that truck get away. Boy, you let that truck get away. Boy, you let that truck get away.
And believe me, you're going to hear that a lot.
Okay, finally beat it. And we got a cutscene that tells us it was a red herring and we now have to get our asses over to the right place.
What the fuck? It froze on me. Okay, that's fucking it! I can't take more of this damn shit! Okay, I got to take care of some few things, so if you'll excuse me.
No.
There! All done.
Seriously, this game is a disgrace to anything cartoon related. It represents the show as much as Princess Peach represents Hyrule Kingdom. The controls are beyond bad. It feels like I was about to break my controller from forcing the buttons down. The combo list is non-existent, and that's really no fun in the beat 'em up game. And speaking of the beat 'em up parts, they are just lame. 5 to 10 enemies, generic as can get. Although you get to attack mutated dogs, that's always fun. The music is just a reboot theme song, kind of like Ghostbusters on NES actually, and that actually sums up most of the problems. It feels like if Ghostbusters NES was ported to PS2 and given the modern day graphics. That were slightly outdated of course, by a couple of years. They are bikers, let's make a game of driving and beating stuff up. Kudos though that I believe they actually follow Season 1 rather well. Almost too well. Maybe they got the key scenes there and replaced the fun and diversity with just driving, shooting and beating stuff up. It is just terrible, the animation is just bad. It feels like a first grade's attempt at impressing the teachers at art school, which they would fail if they showed. It's just one big letdown. Do not play this game ever.
Anyway, don't try this video game, people. Go buy the DVD or Blu-ray, whatever. Go watch the show instead. I'm the Angrynator terminating bad video games for your entertainment.
It's disgusting.